Hi, Dan Stein here. Thanks for joining us, and everybody ought to get on board. And I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, the discharge petition appears to be dead in the House. This was the extortionate petition that a bunch of moderate Republicans combined with a whole lot of Democrats, like every Democrat in the House, trying to jam a big amnesty bill down the throats of the American people. Action in the House is now taking on an urgent priority, and we want you to listen very closely to what we're talking about today, because the action has now moved to a 2-stage bill process. And here to give us the details, once again, R.J. Hauman, Affairs and Government Relations Director. Thanks for joining us, R.J.
Yes.
Okay, you were up late last night. Why?
Right, of course. Well, last night we seemed to have a framework for an agreement to stave off this discharge petition. I know we've been keeping you guys up to date on that. You know, as of yesterday, they only needed about 3 more signatures potentially to...
Director, thanks for joining us today.
3 more signatures, sorry, technical difficulties over. About 3 more signatures to activate that discharge petition to trigger a series of votes on about 4 amnesty bills. And under that scenario called Queen of the Hill, something very obscure, a procedural tactic, the bill that would likely emerge would be a Clean Dream Act, which again is an amnesty for about 3.5 million people. Leadership was working behind the scenes. The Freedom Caucus was negotiating with these moderates, and they came to an agreement. And the agreement kind of looks as follows: you're going to have one bill.
All right. Well, let's before you get to that, there's a lot of detail. What our folks want to know is there going to be a DACA amnesty?
Well, the likelihood of a DACA amnesty, passing the Senate and getting a signature from the president this year is extremely unlikely. Again, there's no urgency surrounding this issue. People are still, have their DACA work permits. The program has not been allowed to wind down because of activist judges. The administration's been stymied by the courts. That could change next year when the Supreme Court considers this, but there really is no urgency right now. As Dan said, you basically have a minority of the majority, a faction of rogue pro-amnesty Republicans.
A handful of Republicans.
That are basically holding their party hostage by joining with a big group of Democrats to ram an amnesty down the throats.
So you've all heard about this discharge petition. So the good news is the discharge petition is dead. Mm-hmm. The good news is there will not be a so-called clean DACA amnesty bill.
Well, dirty.
I mean, it's not so-called.
There's nothing clean about an amnesty with no trade-offs for 3.5 million people.
The Democrats just want a big amnesty bill with no
trade-offs at all.
Maybe a little wall funding.
No fake wall funding. I mean, the bill that also could have passed in that scenario, called the USA Act, introduced by Congressman Will Hurd and Pete Aguilar from California, so-called bipartisan bill, would have just paired the exact same amnesty provision in the DREAM Act with some fake border security. I mean, a study on border security. Nothing to prevent future illegal immigration, so we are not in this scenario again.
You all made your voices heard nonstop all across the country in opposition to this effort. They could not get the last several Republicans to sign the discharge petition.
Huge victory.
Right, huge victory. So that's a big victory, and we should all pat ourselves on the back. Now, one of the things the Freedom Caucus did not want, they wanted the Goodlatte bill, as it's called, Securing
America's Future Act, H.R. 4760.
Right, H.R. what is it?
4760.
4760. They wanted that to come to the floor. Now, FAIR likes some of the things in the Goodlatte bill. It has mandatory e-verify, it ends chain migration, gets rid of the visa lottery, closes some loopholes, has a lot of interior enforcement materials, stuff like that.
Stop sanctuary cities.
The Goodlatte bill has a lot of very important elements that FAIR supports, okay? It also has a guest worker program, and it also has a limited DACA amnesty. Now, FAIR has said we want to see the bill come to the floor, but we don't support it in its current form entirely, but we do like to see it come to the floor. However, what the Freedom Caucus said was, what we don't want to do in exchange for stopping the discharge petition is bring the Goodlatte bill to the floor with another bill, which may be a weak bill or a low-energy bill or a squishy bill. And right now, under Ryan's leadership, they are negotiating a leadership bill which looks like it might be a squishy bill, okay? And the question is, what's going to be in the squishy bill? Everybody says no amnesty. So what's going to be in there, RJ?
Well, you know what? Right now, what we're looking at, and again, I mean, it's important to stress, though, that even bringing these moderates to the table to agree to the squishy bill is kind of a victory in itself. But
well,
however,
explain about the moderates. People want, I mean, everybody out there wants to understand this. Trump got elected on a platform.
Right.
Everybody knows what's needed to be done. E-Verify, interior enforcement, build a wall. They understand all of it.
Yeah. Well,
what's the problem in the House?
I guess I'm following
Who's opposing?
Right.
Needed reform. Tell people the truth about the Chamber of Commerce and about employers.
First and foremost, I guess I'm falling into kind of the DC speak and the media's trap with calling these people moderates. I mean, no, they're in reality, they're almost extremists on this issue, just like the Democratic Party is on immigration, accepting absolutely no enforcement whatsoever. Everybody here can stay. There is a faction of those people in the Republican Party. You know, Jeff Denham, Carlos Curbelo, Mario Diaz-Balart, all these people that are leading the discharge petition, again, you know, they want nothing to prevent future illegal immigration.
So these are Republicans in the House who oppose President Trump's major pillars of his campaign promises.
Right.
They don't want to, Curbelo has said, we don't want to reduce immigration. Curbelo has said we don't want, they don't want E-Verify. What's the problem with E-Verify?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay, it works. So who doesn't want it? Business community, big agricultural growers, livestock, people like that. Once again, we see the business community working within the Republican Party, major donors who have more of a priority for DACA amnesty than actually giving the American people what they want. And it's about 25, 30 of these Republicans, right? And so they're demanding in this compromise, so-called squishy, low-energy, lousy immigration reform bill that we're supposed to stand behind and support. They're going to have a big guest worker program coming up later, maybe?
Yeah. Mandatory E-Verify potentially paired with a guest worker program may be considered by the beginning of the August recess. But I mean, again, here to focus on it, and I guess the core of the message that we want everybody to know is that there will be a vote next week on amnesty.
Two bills.
On
two bills next week. Everybody hear this? I want you to ask us your questions on what's going to happen next week. Two bills coming up next week. The Goodlatte bill, maybe in its original form,
right?
We think, right?
And then this compromise that has yet to be agreed on. Now, just to kind of shed a light on what is in that compromise, again, the Goodlatte bill, as a reminder, only deals with people who have existing DACA status. That is a defined population that we know. We know how many people are there. 600,000, 700,000, right around there. The compromise bill.
So let me ask you, James McBay says they need to send all illegals back where they came from, kids included, kids and all. Why is James not getting his way?
Well, I mean, again, because it's clearly a priority for a lot of people in Congress right now is that, you know, they do get to stay. And why, I do not know.
Are there any Republicans who oppose a DACA amnesty?
No, I think at its core, many
Steve King.
Steve King does. Some members of the Freedom. There's a lot of people that do oppose amnesty in all forms, as we do. However, you know, and I empathize and understand where a lot of these people are coming from. Though there's a lot of people who see a limited, extremely limited DACA amnesty as a way to enact many of the reforms that we've long called for, and that would improve our immigration system overall on the legal front and the illegal front.
All right, so they're drafting this squishy, weak, low-energy bill.
Right.
Where's the Trump administration?
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
Can we count on Donald Trump to stop a bad bill? That's what I'm asking.
No, we can. You know, I believe the president will veto any. I mean, again, we have to look at this too. I mean, it gets to President Trump at the end of this of a process.
But he's weighing in
now,
now,
but Mitch
isn't he?
McConnell has said though that he will not take up any bill that comes from the House on immigration. As a reminder, the Senate already voted on three amnesty bills and a sanctuary cities bill in February. They all did not reach the necessary 60-vote threshold. Mitch McConnell has already said, he's on record, that he will not bring any amnesty bill to the floor of the rest of this Congress. That's a fact. So for even anything to come to the president's desk, I mean, that's a step that needs to be taken in the short term, and you know, we don't see it happening.
Trump's saying, they're saying they are supportive of the process.
Well,
right?
yeah, he said he's supportive of the process. Again, the Goodlatte bill delivers on a lot of the four pillars that Trump, you know, said that are a requirement if he is to extend some, you know, DACA amnesty. But again, the administration obviously has been dealing with other things. The president has, you know, just returned from Singapore, where he had that summit with Kim Jong-un. You know, it remains to be seen if the White House is going to lean into the Goodlatte bill and really support that. or if they're just going to, give a casual blessing to the process and kind of keep quiet.
If the Republicans vote for something bad, with a DACA amnesty and squishy stuff and a big guest worker program, don't they undermine the value of this issue in the November election?
Absolutely. Again, the American people, you out there, spoke loud and clear in 2016 with the election of Donald Trump and delivering the GOP historic majorities in both chambers of Congress. And Congress has not delivered anything on that front. They have not delivered anything on President Trump ran on a border wall. And in every time Congress has had an opportunity to fund said border wall, they haven't done it. And again, the American people spoke loud and clear. And in Washington, people get insulated up here and they don't seem to listen.
The Freedom Caucus, though, they've been pretty loyal to the voters of the Republican Party, right?
Yes.
Would you say through this process?
Yeah, of course. Fortunately, Mark Meadows and Raul Labrador, Jim Jordan, and others have been fantastic on this. And being in the room, with these moderates, if you will, and fighting again for what the American people want and what the rule of law on immigration policy and what President Trump ran on. They've been sticking to that. And they've been negotiating in good faith as well, understanding, some considerations that these people in their caucus have that are on the opposite side of this issue. They've been there at the table in good faith, fighting for what you guys want.
Now, E-Verify, you said it's not going anywhere. Why would E-Verify not be a slam dunk for Congress?
Well, no, again, E-Verify is, when polls have been taken of what is the most popular immigration reform proposal out there, E-Verify is 88% approval. I mean, it's common sense. It's easy. It works, and it's the reason why too. And to tell you guys out there too, why E-Verify is so important as a tool to stop illegal immigration. The border wall gets all the attention of why
it works.
No, E-Verify works. But here's what people need to understand too is more than half of the people that come here illegally don't come here across the southern border. They overstay their visas, and why? Because they can work here. They can work here without anybody stopping them because there's no mandatory E-Verify. People aren't checking if people are here illegally. And E-Verify is almost a border wall in itself. It prevents legal immigration of people coming right in the front door.
So what's the rationale behind betraying the American people once again and not passing mandatory E-Verify?
Well, there's no rationale.
There's no excuse for this, RJ.
But
you're up there every day. What
there's no rationale behind not delivering for the American people on this. People out there compete with people that are here illegally for jobs, and that goes to people that are low skilled and are in the service industry or working in agriculture or anything, and also people that have college degrees and everything like that have people coming in the front door as well. E-Verify would really ensure that we have a legal workforce and that people here are intended and here legally able to work and not taking jobs from the American people.
Can we get a bill through the House that will cut overall immigration, legal immigration reduction?
Well, if there's one silver lining to whatever this compromise bill is, so everybody knows a GOODLAP bill ends chain migration, gets rid of the diversity visa lottery, things that President Trump ran on, which would reduce legal immigration significantly and have a great effect on the American worker. But however, even the compromise bill here, I think it's now, congressional leadership and has made it clear to the immigration maximalists, the moderates in the party, and Democrats as well, that they will have to accept an overall reduction in legal immigration if they want any hope of protecting the DACA recipients. So even that bill potentially will result in an overall reduction of legal immigration. I don't want to get into the details because it's so dang complicating. What we know of what may be in it, they're talking about cut in visas, and they put these visas in escrow, and then they give them to the DACA recipients 10 years down the line. And it's complicating stuff, but at least they are thinking in the right direction of overall reductions in legal immigration.
So when are we going to know what's in this new bill that Ryan and his friends are drafting for us?
I'm keeping an eye on my phone. We're looking out right now, and we're waiting to see what's in this so we could fully analyze the bill and tell you, the American people, what's in it. And I know everybody out there, they hate this process in Washington. That's why the discharge petition in itself was so reprehensible. They're in these smoke-filled back rooms here, a couple blocks away from us, crafting something, not under the watchful eye of the American people out there. But rest assured, though, when we do get this text, we will go through it and tell you what's in it.
And we can say unequivocally, we are not going to be supporting a bad bill. It would be better to wait until 2019. Maybe there'll be a larger margin in Congress. Better to get a stronger bill in 2019 than to ask you to support a bad bill in 2018.
And now's not the time.
And we can give you our pledge on that. If they come up with something squishy, low energy, lousy, not worth Trump's support, we're counting on President Trump to hold the line. You think President Trump will hold the line on a bad bill?
I think he will, and you guys out there as well need to make your voice heard. Twitter, Facebook, tell your friends, tell your family as well. Make your voice heard out there in public. Again, that you elected President Trump in 2016 for a reason. He repudiated the whole agenda of the GOP establishment and what they've tried to do as it pertains to immigration here in Washington. He upended that. And it's time to make good on those promises.
And it's very important to realize that the Trump administration is doing very good things.
Absolutely.
On the executive branch level. So the other day when Attorney General Sessions made a change in asylum policy by revisiting and then rewriting essentially an immigration court opinion, he actually advanced a cause we've been working for a long time, which is to help restore political asylum back to its proper narrow definition. It had been expanded beyond recognition for people who had no direct state action, people claiming domestic violence or gang violence without any direct state action, and these were never the intentions behind political asylum. You wonder why you see people crashing the borders, coming to try to take advantage of an asylum system. Well, it's become a way to abuse the system, abuse the law to get into the country when people don't have the kind of particularized basis for a claim of political persecution. This is an important thing. There are new regulations coming out every day from the administration, major regulations, things that are dialing back abuses that we've been identifying and fighting for years. No deals. Cindy says no deals. Robin says no deals. We hear you. Better no deal than a bad deal. And you can count on FAIR to keep you informed. And as soon as we get the details on this probably lousy, probably unacceptable compromise, might have some good things. We'll tell you the things we support. We always want you to support the principles we support and the good proposals we support, but we're not going to sell you out for a craven amnesty compromise that's going to leave us back where we are 5 to 10 years from now. So I just want to say, keep yourself tuned up to what's going on. Pay attention over the next few days. We'll be back with more as we get more information. So thank you very much, and thank you, RJ.
Yep, of course. Thanks.